WLUW, you're on the air with DJ the Jimmer.
Hi, Jimmer.
Hi. Hi, who's this?
My name is Whispy.
Whispy?
Yeah.
Well, how can I help you tonight, Whispy?
Well, I had to ask you a question if you could do something for me. See, a dear friend of mine recently passed.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
And he was a huge fan of the show, and I know it would mean a lot to him and mean a lot to his family if his eulogy could be shared to your listeners and he could take part in that that beautifulness.
Well, oh my goodness, absolutely. So your friend recently passed away, and absolutely. I mean, I think that it would be an honor. So tell me a little bit more about your friend. Did he pass suddenly, or what were the circumstances?
Well, yeah, it was kind of a surprise, but let me kind of give you some background here. You see, I knew Pepper from college.
And his name was Pepper?
Pepper, uh-huh.
Okay.
And Pepper and I were good friends, and we knew each other from college. We went to the same clown college together, and he was always a heck of a good guy.
Oh, well, goodness. So he was a clown?
Yeah. Pepper Buttons.
Oh, my goodness. His name was Pepper Buttons.
Pepper Buttons, yes.
And are you a clown as well?
Yes, Whispy Nugget.
Whispy Nugget. And do you work for the circus, or are you birthday clowns, or what's your deal?
We try and get around. We're part of the union, so we get around wherever we're, told to go, but do a lot of birthday parties, a lot of little different shenanigans here and there, and just, and what we used to do is just, we didn't have any bookings. We'd go down to the local hospitals or just, just a school of any sort, and just kind of show up and cheer up the people.
Oh, well, see, now that's great. I love to hear that kind of stuff. It's actually interesting. There was a story, and this is absolutely true. There was a story in the news recently that there was a clown shortage.
Yes.
Which I'm sure you heard of. So business must be booming for you right now.
It is pretty good right now, yeah. And even more so now that we lost Buttons.
Well, I mean, I guess, yeah, that's kind of an unfortunate way to look at it, but I suppose, will you be picking up his gigs, or how does that work?
Well, we usually travel as a group, so it's just, we're one more short, so always looking for new recruits, and it's a rough gig, but it has its rewards.
Well, I suppose, and I'm sure that you bring a lot of joy to children of all ages all over the country.
Oh, yes.
And do you, what was I going to say? I forget. Well, either way, I'm sorry to hear that your friend passed. And you wanted to, you said read his obituary on the air here?
Yeah, do a little eulogy for him. And it's kind of, I don't know if you're prepped on your end, if you need to do anything, but I was hoping, being a clown and whatnot, Pepper would have wanted to keep the smiles on the people's faces. So if you have anything there, any music or sound effects or anything that might offset, the sadness of his passing, I think that would be the way he'd want it.
Well, sure. I have a comedy soundboard here. Are you saying that you would want me to play some of those sound effects during the obituary, the eulogy?
Absolutely. Yes, that's how I think he'd want it.
Okay, and do you just want me to play them where I see fit, or just kind of wing it here?
Yeah. I mean, just as Pepper used to say, the show must go on, and it's got to be how it is. So however you see fit. I mean, like I said, he enjoyed your show. He loved the different guests you have on, and the people you talk to, and the music. You were just the light of his life.
Okay, well, I will. I will do my best. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So whenever you're ready.
Okay. Pepper Buttons, this is for you. Pepper Buttons was a good clown. He'd always offer you a ride, even if his car was 38 people deep already. And if his wife had not severed his feet from his ankles with a hatchet, it would be said that he had some very large shoes to fill. You see, Pepper was always trying to make people smile. He'd throw a pie in his own face even though he was a diabetic. And when word was received that Pepper had died, it came as a great surprise to us all because he had threatened to put the, quote, the sweet metallic steel of his block in his mouth and paint the wall with his ruby red brains. See, he was always telling everyone it was important to have an unhealthy fear of the unknown. So many said that's why he only made it through to the third grade before dropping out of school, you see. It was in the third grade that his hunger for strippers and amyl nitrate became to consume him, like a wolf consumes a hot rabbit meat on a freezing winter night. I can honestly say that Pepper Button seemed to never be able to catch a break, you see. Then he discovered clowning, and for a little while put his life back together. He met his beautiful wife, Puddle, and for a while they were on top of the world. But after a few years, Pepper started back on the poppers and hitting the clubs. Puddles turned to the open and loving arms of the lion tamer, and that was that. But Pepper was devastated, so one night he turned his prop gun that had a little flag on it that said bang when he fired it. He turned it into a real gun. And then he hid that gun in a pie and waited.
Oh, was that the end?
Yes.
Man, it sounds like he had a really tough life.
You did a wonderful thing, Jimmer.
Well, look, you said your name was Whispy?
Whispy Nugget.
Whispy, I am so sorry for the passing of your friend, and it really, it really, if I could have helped in any way by you reading his eulogy on the air, I'm glad that I could have helped.
It's life goes on, you know.
Well, it sounds like you're pretty broken up about this.
Yeah, well, it's not just me. He had a lot of children.
Really, he did?
He did, yeah.
Well, it seems like he lived, even though there were hard times, there were good times too.
Yeah.
It's, I'm sorry, Whispy, I don't mean to, far be it from me to get too personal with you here, but it sounds like you're really broken up about this.
Well, he was a close friend.
Now, it was just revealed that Pepper Buttons he took his own life? No. Well, he hid a gun in a pie and then just waited to be hit with it.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty much a suicide.
Yeah, but he wasn't the one pulling the trigger.
Who was the one who threw the pie that killed him?
That would be me.
Oh, Whispy. So are you carrying around a little bit of that guilt?
A little, but at the same time, it's, what he wanted. That's how he wanted to do it.
Now, is clown suicide, is it common? Is that, or how do most clowns die? I don't know. You never see a clown die. They go back to wherever they come from, and I just figured they probably died because they laughed too hard. But is clown suicide something that happens often?
It does happen from time to time, but it happens on accident, and suicide is sometimes one of those accidents.
Have you lost any other clown friends to suicide? And if so, if you could give me their names.
Oh yes, there's Gingerberry.
Gingerberry.
Yep.
And he is that a he or she?
That was a she.
And how did she commit suicide?
Well, she actually took herself and several others out. There's the little tiny clown car that comes out, and they're all packed in there like sardines.
Right.
She intentionally turned the child safety locks on the little clown car there, and drove out into the desert.
And then
just kept on going.
Okay. Okay. Kept on going on up into the sky.
Yeah.
And any other clown friends that committed suicide?
There's a whole laundry list. I think probably about 4 years ago. No, that was 5 years ago. Tommy Taffy.
Tommy Taffy.
Yeah.
And if it's not too painful, do you mind telling me how he took his own life?
He put a whole bunch of stakes underneath his clown suit.
Like meat steaks?
Meat steaks, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And he went into the lion tamer's cage there,
right,
and just started, berating the lions and slapping them. And they were trained, of course, but they could only take so much before, they smelled the meat on him.
Right. And they just ripped him apart?
Oh, yeah.
And that was Tommy Taffy?
Tommy Taffy, yeah.
And I know, Whispy, this is probably tough on you, but if you could just tell me one more. I find this endlessly interesting, not entertaining, just endlessly interesting. This is just a part of humanity that I don't come into contact very often. I'm sure the listeners are interested too.
Yeah, there's.
This one sounds particularly painful.
There was Benny.
And he just went by Benny?
He just went by Benny.
Benny the Clown. And if you don't mind, if it's not too difficult, Whispy, how did Benny meet his end?
He, those little flowers that squirt?
Mm-hmm. Yes, the classic joke, the squirting lapel flower.
Yeah, he had one of those. And you see, as a clown, you're supposed to always keep those cleaned.
Right.
Every day.
Right. Do you have somebody inspecting them, or do you have?
No, it's like in the military when you take apart your gun and clean it. You're supposed to do the same thing with those lapel flowers.
Right. Okay.
So you take it out, you oil it, and it's all that fun stuff. Well, we always kept telling him, Benny, you got to clean your flower, and he'd off and just pass it off. Well, one day it wasn't firing.
Right.
And he's looking down at it. And we said, Benny, don't do it anymore because it's not working. He said, it's not working. And we said, yes, it's not working. Quit doing that. And before we know it, the pressure was just building up inside there. See, it was rusting over. And he finally built up enough pressure, and it just his head tore clean right off.
Oh my God, that's terrible. So it just sort of exploded?
Yeah.
Oh my God, this is terrible. Oh. Well, Whispy, I am so sorry to hear about this. Now, do you ever, and tell me again if this is too personal, but do you ever get really blue?
Well, sure.
And
everybody does, Jimmer.
Well, but do you ever feel like, maybe just doing away with yourself?
No, I go and feed Alka-Seltzers to the pelicans.
Oh, I see. You feel out. Well, that's cruel.
Well, it's either inward or outward, and the therapist says it's, since I have to be around children, it's important that I don't have any physical scars visible.
Right. Well, that's true. Yes, that would be. Is that something an employer asks of a clown? Do you have any visible scars?
Yeah. It's pretty important. I mean, Benny, he couldn't land a job ever since his incident.
Oh, now was he left with a scar?
He didn't have a head.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure that did away with him.
Yeah, no one really wants to hire a clown without a face.
Well, Whispy, I really want to thank you for calling in tonight.
Well, I thank you, Jimmer. You do a great service to the Chicago area and worldwide. I know everybody. I was vacationing in Jamaica, and I had to hop on and listen to your show because I knew it was going to be on.
Well, I thank you for listening, and you have a good night. And I'm glad I could help you and your friend out.
Thank you, dear sir.
Thank you, my friend. No. I don't know what I did there.